Welcome, everybody. Can everybody hear my voice okay? Please type a Y in the chat box. You can hear my voice and see the screen. That'd be greatly appreciated. Fantastic. How's everybody doing today? Everybody doing great? Fantastic. This is going to be exciting. This is an exciting event for me specifically. And I'm really looking forward to going over this with you guys. There's a lot more to this event than most people think, and we're just going to give everybody a chance to kind of come in here and catch their bearings and do everything we need to do here. Type a Y in the chat box. You're just joining us for the very first time, and you've never been to a webinar with us before. If you're new here, type a Y in the chat box right now. I'd just love to see if you're new. Always love the newcomers because there's always something big and aha moments that come from that. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Michael, Paul. Great. How many of you guys are, you're not a newcomer, Stuart? No kidding. No kidding. A couple questions here while we're waiting for everybody to log in. How many of you are not in the ATS and the AQS? Type an N if you are not in one of the ATS or AQS programs. I just want to see how many people here are not in those programs right now. Okay. It's important because of some of the stuff that we're going to be doing today has a lot to do with not being in those programs. Okay. Cabello says the form wouldn't submit for him. Maybe Jason, you can follow up with Cabello. He was trying to fill out the form, but it wasn't working for him. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, no problem, Cabela. We'll get you in touch with Jason. No problem. We got lots to help you guys here today. Great. The reason I'm asking if you're not in the program is because this presentation is actually designed for three groups of people. Okay. It's for the people that are in the ATS program. It's for the people that are in the AQS program. And just as much as the other programs, it's also for everybody that's not in those programs, right? There's three buckets of traders that we work with, and it doesn't matter where you're at or if you're in both or one or two or none. This presentation is designed to kind of share something that I've gone through as a personal trader. That's why it says Sean's core system here. We're going to have a conversation about that. There's a big story behind it, and hopefully you guys like stories because I think I can relate with stories. I think most of us can. There's an emotional connection to stories and just living through it, right? So type a yes if you'd like to hear a little bit of my personal story, my journey as a trader, these types of things, because a lot of you guys assume that I'm just this magician behind the wheel here, and I'm just this really great trader that just came out of nowhere, and that's not true, guys. That's definitely not true, right? But I am going to share with you how this system has changed me. And it's changed the way I approach trading and changed the way I look at things and how I do things every day. And it's why I actually built this system and why I actually believe in it so much. And I'm going to share some stuff with you today that I don't think anybody's ever heard. Right. So you're in for a treat. I think you guys are definitely going to really appreciate what we're doing. Okay. So well, a couple other questions. I'm not recording this yet. We're still waiting for everybody to log in here. It's a big event, right? So how many of you guys are discretionary traders? Type a D in here. I just want to know how many of you guys are trading discretionary strategies or just your discretionary trader. You're not using an algo. Type a D if you're discretionary. Okay. There's all my manual traders. Great. Type an A if you like to trade automated systems, algos. You like algos. You're just all about algos. You just want to trade automated systems. You're totally looking for algos. Just type an A if you're only looking at algos. Okay. Type a B if you're trading both. I want to know if you're trading both. I need to know if you're trading both. I need to know if you're actually trading both, and you're interested in both. And great. So I think this presentation is going to be better than most people assume. Okay. So why? Because this is not just an algo launch. I know the webinar invites talked about an algo launch, and I'll go, well, it is, right? And we are going to be launching an algo today, and it's not just any other normal algo under the sun. This is something that there's a big story behind this trading system, as well as track record, performance, these types of things. But several weeks ago, I did a boot camp that was for a HAAT trading system. And a lot of traders loved it. Like they were trading it well. There's a lot of posts in the community, and like I traded it well and stuff. But it wasn't actually for one of our investors that actually emailed us and said there was some stuff online that he'd been looking at with regards to volume. And I started looking at, you know, some of the volume stuff he was sharing. And I said, wow, I said, okay, like I need to put this into this trading system because I actually think it'll just drastically change the results of what we're doing. And so, sure enough, we got together as a team and talked about it as a company and talked about it as a development group and all of that stuff. And it just blew me away what it was able to do. It just blew me away what it was able to do for not only the signals that we'd already built, but also just the way in which it filters trades, just the strategy conception around it, and then how it worked with the algo. The volume signals allowed us to build the algo properly. And because we're using Heikin Ashi candles and minute charts, we're able to go back years of data, like not just months, but years of data, right? Like, and that gives a different level of confidence. That gives a different level of like of just of belief in what we're doing. So we're going to talk about this, but more importantly, we're going to talk about my journey through this and why I think it relates to everybody here because I can almost assume that I'm no different than you guys. So you guys excited? Type of yes. You guys are ready to rock and roll. We're ready to get in it. You guys are good to go. Great. I'm gonna hit that record button. We're gonna get going, as they say. Oh, I guess it's already being recorded. I guess you guys already got all that. That's probably why I didn't say recording when I got in. All right. Well, you guys got all that on the recording. Traders, welcome to today's presentation. My name is Sean Kozak, CEO of Tickblaze. I'm the lead architect for all system design. I work with our development team. I work with our education team. I work with our software team. But more importantly, I'm a trader just like every single one of you. Okay. Now, many of you have been to a webinar in the past where we launch products or we launch strategies or and all that stuff. But I want to go a different route today with this webinar. I want to take a different approach to it, mainly because I have an emotional connection to this trading strategy. I have an emotional involvement to this. I actually I trade this every single day myself, and this is an algo and a signal generator event. Why? Because both of them can be used for discretionary trading or automated systems. Please note that if you are in the ATS program, or if you are in the AQS program, or if you've already bought the prior HAT system, you don't have to buy anything today. Okay, you already invested in the resources. You get it. You don't have to pay for an upgrade if you got HAT 1.0. You get 2.0. We're not here to just try to sell everything. We're here to help. But at the same time, if you don't own anything, I can promise you this is something that's worth looking at once we go through the details. Okay. Now we are recording the event, and I'm going to be telling you some of my personal journey through this story. I'm going to share with you my results and what's happened over the last couple of weeks so that you guys understand it. And I want to talk a little bit about why I trade this over other strategies. Okay, I think this is really, really important. Now, how many of you guys watched the video that Jason sent out in the emails, or how many of you guys watched the video that we sent out? Type a yes if there was a teaser video that you seen it, you watched it, you understood it. Yes. Okay, great. How many of you guys were kind of impressed by it? Right, the first week, I showed a week of it. Yeah. Well, I did the same thing the week after. Right. I did the same thing the week after. In fact, I met with our team after the second week of trading and we talked about the results. We talked about how I took a $100,000 account and I did 80,000 on it in 2 weeks. Now I'm trading bigger size and that's on purpose. But if you tone it down a little bit to like just maybe where you're at, or if you're trading small accounts or prop accounts, it's all relative to money management, right? I'm risking 2.5% to 5% on every given trade. You may not do that, but if you risk less, you'd still generate the same type of results if you were taking the same trades as me, or if you're at least looking at the same information as me. Why is that important? Well, like I said, I'm an extremely emotional trader. Like so emotional that I've had myself in tears sometimes. I've traded for weeks where I was just like doing so good and then wham, I just start doubling down and tripling down because I don't like losing. Right? I don't like, I'm good at a lot of things in life, right? So when I take a loss, I get angry at the market or I resent the market, right? Because I build all these systems and stuff. And it's not that strategies aren't good, it's just I'm flawed, I'm human, right? How many of you guys can relate with that? How many of you guys have ever felt where like you just go through these strings of wins and then all of a sudden, what the hell happened? Right? Like what's going on? Right? And I can't tell you how many times I've gone through that journey. I can't tell you how many times I've gone through that. But it's not just us, right? We are a component to that. But I really do believe strategies have a lot to do with it. I really do believe that the right strategy, when used correctly, can protect us. When you have the right rules and you understand how to use those rules, it can protect us. And it wasn't until I discovered and built this trading strategy where I finally felt myself in alignment after 10 years of trading. And this is coming from me, guys. Many of you have been with me on a journey for years. Many of you have been in my trade rooms, many of you in my instructors' rooms, all of that stuff. Some of you guys think I'm just some magic trader that's better. No, guys, I am a human being and I am a trader just like every single one of you. But I really, really spent a lot of energy becoming better and building better solutions because I just want to be better, right? And how many of you guys want to be better? How many of you guys are like seriously wanting to like grow and actually stop kicking the can down the street? Yeah, okay, we buy a lot of stuff and we invest in our education. I get it. Shit, I've probably spent 10 times more than anybody in this event. Even though I build all this stuff, I buy everybody's stuff. I want to learn everything there is about trading from every single buddy. Why? Because I'm a student, right? But here's the kicker. You can't trade it all at the same time, right? And that was my problem. I got one strategy for the opening range. I got one strategy for scalping. I got one strategy for trend trading. I got one strategy for breakouts. Holy shit, what strategy am I trading today, right? How many of you guys feel that way? Yes or no? Yes? How many of you guys feel like that? And then one day one strategy works, and the next day another strategy works, and then you try to do it again tomorrow. But guess what? The conditions changed. The conditions change. You say, well, wow, what the hell? Like yesterday was great, and today is like, whoa. That's why I want to teach this event because I've developed a process, which I'm going to be teaching tomorrow. Okay. Which I'm going to be teaching tomorrow on how to stay out of the shit show, right? The last couple days of the markets, I don't know about you guys, but has it not, it hasn't been trending, has it? Friday was chop and slop, Monday, chop and slop, Tuesday, today, chop and slop, oscillation up and down, up and down. They're consolidating on a really big time frame. And Brian's got beat up. Yeah, anybody that's trying to trade directionally, or anybody that's trying to trade pullbacks, or anybody's trying to trade momentum or breakouts, or any, you're getting smoked. Not if you follow what I will be teaching and what I've been doing over the last several weeks, because I am here to share with you that I had to build something that stopped me from making the same mistakes I was always making for the last 9 years. I can make a lot of money, but I always give a lot of it back. I've been profitable, but I give way too much back. And I'm sick of it. I'm sick of giving it back. Right. And so how many of you guys are ready for a change? Type a yes. You guys are ready for a change, right? How many of you guys are seriously ready for a change? Yeah, Cabela says, I'm looking forward to this. Well, me too, man, because I've been building this present. My team, Jim, put this presentation together, but Jeff and Jason and the guys, like, we've all been meeting for weeks on today's event, right? And this isn't some just random event. I really, really care. You are singing my songs, Gord says. Well, today we're going to talk about Heikin Ashi volume trend and momentum trading. Okay. Trend and momentum trading. And the reason we're going to do that, okay, the reason we're going to do volume and trend trading is because there's a difference between a pullback trade and a momentum trade. But if you follow the things that I'm doing, you're going to sit on the sidelines for a while. You're going to develop Navy SEALs patience and you're going to really, really, really like the discipline that comes from the trading that we're doing. Because I can assure you here that the rules for when to take the signals are more important for the signals. Okay, write this down. The rules when you take the signal is 10 times more important than the signal. I want you to write a word down. Okay, it's called alignment. We're going to do this here. We're going to just, I know this is a webinar, but I don't want to do it just like a webinar. I want to teach you stuff that's changed me. I want to teach you stuff that is massively important. Okay. So the rules for when we take the trade are 10 times more important than the signal itself. Okay. I want you to write down this word alignment. You want to know something? I want you to think back for a second. I want you to think back all the days where you felt the market was easy to trade. All those days where you felt like a hero. All those days where you actually were like, wow, yeah, the market's crushing it. I'm amazing today. Like, I feel like freaking everything is winning and like alignment. I got a trailing stop and I hit both targets. You want to know what happened that day and you don't even realize what it was? What do you think happened? Time frames were in alignment. The right time frames were in alignment. The indicators and the signal were in alignment. I'm here to tell you right now, for the last 9 years of my life, all of my bad and emotional trades were because I was not patient enough and I forced trading when the market was not in alignment. I'm here to tell you right now, you fix this. I bet my soul on it. You fix this and your destiny in the market will change. I had to do it. And by the grace of God, it just came to me through just 9 years of struggle, right? And they say, hey, man, like it just happens for some people sometimes. It sometimes happens for people sooner. Sometimes it clicks later. Sometimes it's about having the right mentor. Sometimes just about a journey. We all got to go through it, right? But if I can save all of you more years, it's not just about today's trading system. Yes, that has a big part of it, but I'm going to share with you how I took these rules, combined it with this system, and I've never traded more incredibly better than I've ever done in my entire life. That's why I sent the video for Jason. That's why I had my team build 2.0. Thank you for the guys that sent me the email on volume, because had it not have been for those people that did that, I would not have gone down a journey and started studying the signals a little bit differently. Things just started clicking. So I'm a big believer of paying it forward. I don't believe in which we can keep things unless we give it away. I believe that if we're going to help people, we end up becoming better ourselves. So my goal today is to teach you everything that I've learned through this small journey. Not small, but you know what I mean. And at the end of the event, if you guys can relate with what we're doing and you can see the power in what we're doing, then I truly think this is something worth considering as a strategy and also as a solution for your trading, right? Now, is everybody okay with that intro? I know it's a little bit long-winded, but it's serious to me. It's really serious. I really, really care about the success and the results of what everybody's doing. And you know, that matters to me. Yes? Give me 1 second here, guys. Just hit the wrong button. Great. Fantastic. Great. Okay. So disclaimer, I'm not here to guarantee anything. My time, my experience, my story, my software, education, that's it. Anything else outside of those types of environments is on your own merit. You got to take the risk, got to accept the risk. I can't guarantee you performance, can't guarantee the heavens, but my team will die trying. Yes? Okay. So guys, that's my trading results. This is my trading. This is not a back test. This is my stats. I'm not here to give you any fluff. I don't believe in it. I just don't have any patience for it because I just don't like it when someone's pulling wool over my eyes. So I just, I'm not here to do that to you. Some of you say, oh, you always say that, Sean. You always say, well, what else do you want me to say? I'm a trader. I'm going to tell you the way I go through things. I'm going to tell you the way I trade. I'm going to tell you the way I build systems. I'm going to show you what we do. You're going to have to figure out your path, your journey for yourself. right? I can't promise you that you're going to make $1 million, but I can promise that if you follow the things that I'm talking about, and I can share with you the software and the systems that we're using, guess what? Things are going to happen for you, right? Things are going to start to change for you. But those of you that don't want to make the changes and don't want to face the piper, like you got your own demons when you're trading, right? And we all have that. But if you don't look at that honestly, it'll be a year from now and you're going to still be faced with the same decision. Right. And that's why I know Jason, when I have conversation with Jason, our head of sales, he talks to a lot of traders on a daily basis. You'd be surprised how many people have demons in their closet with trading, right? Like you don't want to be not looking at yourself honestly. So today what we're going to do is I'm going to show you a strategy that I truly believe has a superior edge. How do I know that? Because I've been trading it for weeks myself. Like not back testing, not optimizing. Yes, we have the algo and it's just going to validate what I've done over years of data. But I prefer to forward test things, right? When I take an algo, I'm going to share with you what I do with algo trading. I am a hybrid trader. So what does that mean? I take algos. If I'm going to trade a strategy, I build the algos and I will run them for the data. Once I believe in the data, guess what I do? I trade them the way I trade them, right? And some traders want to run fully automated systems. Some traders want to trade discretionally. I never want to trade anything that I don't have any data for. I just don't like it. It makes me uncomfortable. I don't trust it. You understand what I'm saying? Right. So what we're going to do is we're going to just go over a ton of data. Why? Because data is going to give you a belief system that you're not going to have just here are my words, right? Anybody can talk a good game, but it's really the strategy, the signals, the results, and the information that's going to make you want to look at this differently. Okay. Now, these are some of my trades. You're just going to see a bunch of trades. These are yesterday's trades. I took these trades yesterday, right? Those are my trades from yesterday on the signals. These are the trades I took. I'm going to show you today's trades, etc. We're going to talk about automation. We're going to talk about discretionary trading, algo trading. We're going to talk about all the stuff regarding the software. We've pre-built a bunch of templates for all you algo traders in here, so you don't have to do anything. We've got years of data for this system, not weeks, not months, but years of data. That's why I just love it so much. And yeah, so ultimately, we're going to just keep it real calm, real clean. We're not going to go through some big sales pitch. It's just going to be talking about trading. You guys good with that? You guys go just keeping it real and just keeping it right down to earth and just going with the flow here. We're going to just go with it. Okay. So, um, these are my trades before the software was built. So what I'm going to do is I was trading this before my team could code it. Like trading it and trading it and trading it and trading it. And I just kept taking screenshots of my trades and pictures of my trades because I wanted to study them. I wanted to study the results. I wanted to study the signals. I wanted to study the indicators. I wanted to study the conditions. Wasn't necessarily the indicators. The indicators you can learn quick and the signals you can learn quick. Now we've coded them so you don't have to really learn anything. The software does it for you. But what I was more concerned about was how to trade them in different conditions. What I've learned over the years is that traders just buy software or build software. They trade it today, they do something today, and they think that it's just going to be the same tomorrow. Well, that's the biggest lie we tell ourselves because tomorrow's not going to be today. In fact, tomorrow could be a massively trending day and we all feel like freaking heroes and everything's great, right? And so what I'm here to share with you is that what's more important is that you don't get smoked and punched in the chin when the markets are crap, because then when you throttle the good days, you make a shitload of coin. And the last 3 days, the markets have been tough. They've been oscillating, big swings, different strategies for different conditions. But if you're somebody that likes to trade with the market, or if you're somebody that likes to follow trends, or if you're somebody that likes to not be fighting the market and have the market follow through with your trades, well, you best be having rules on the last couple days. Because if you didn't, it would have probably hurt. How many of you guys took losses in the last couple of days because of conditions? Type a yes in the chat box. I'd like to know who's honest in here. Holy shit. Everybody. Well, I'm finally able to confidently say I haven't. I've taken a couple stop outs, but I've ended wins. And Paul says 5-0 wins in the AQS room. Great. Well, That's why my guys are what they're doing, right? But why am I saying this? Because I'm going to share with you rules that are going to be like the gospel for you. You cannot change them. Don't change them. If the markets are not given to you, just sit on the hands, because when everything lines up, you get really, really clean, good follow through trades, and you're going to start really believing in the patience. Even algo traders, when I talk to Burzin and my guys, all we do is talk about when to turn on and off the algo. We're not talking about how to run it fully automated. We're talking about when to engage it and when not to engage it. That's 10 times out of 10 more important than the system itself, is having the foresight to be able to sit, watch the system run, press play or press pause, right? And we're going to talk about that. Okay. This is a couple big trades I took. I felt like a hero, right? I was like, wow, I took the biggest runner of my life on the M2K. It was a $10,000 win. I was like feeling great. But guess what? All of the markets were in alignment. All of them were strong trending down. Everything was moving in alignment. Both time frames were in alignment. So guess what happened the next day? Not that. Because every day the markets aren't in alignment. You know what I mean? Right? Like you can't expect every single day. That's why I don't believe in trading for large R multiple trades all the time. And that's why I don't believe in having runners all the time, because that's not how the market pays you every single day. And so there's a time and a place for runners. There's a time and a place for 1.5 and 2 to 1 trades. You got to understand when to do that and when not to do that. If you're holding for 2 to 1 trades today, you're going to get cooked. Today's not a 2 to 1 day. The markets are not in alignment. You got two indices going one way, two indices going the other. One's in a downtrend, one's in an uptrend. That's shit show. That's a chaotic environment. And anybody in here that's just trading one asset class, like if you're just trading the NASDAQ by itself, some days it's the worst market to trade. Why would you trade the worst market if you don't know what you're even trading? We're going to talk about all this in tomorrow's trading session with me. How many of you guys want to trade with me tomorrow morning in the market? We're going to go through a bunch of stuff. We're going to talk a bunch of stuff tomorrow. We're going to do it. You'll have to have the software, obviously, and you have everything, but I'm going to be doing this with you guys and just teaching you some of the stuff that I've learned over the last journey. Here's all my trades. Like I just had the guys put all my trades. If you look closely, you'll see the connectors here. There's a connector here, connectors here, connectors here. You can just see the connectors here on all of the different. Why? Because like it truly just, for me, like I'm not going to go and sit and listen to someone that's not doing it. I just can't. My brain just shuts off with doubt and disbelief and just no. Like, so these are all HAT system trades. And what I was doing is I was just taking base hits, taking big trades, taking small trades. I was studying the conditions because over the last 2 weeks, every single day was different. Right. And it's crazy that if you trade the same system every single day, but you're in a different environment every single day. That's like putting ice skates on, going and playing ice in Canada, but then taking the skates and going down to California and trying to play skates on a soccer field or on a basketball field. You're not going to do too well. You got to learn to know when to take the skates off, when to put the cleats on, when to put the runners on. You got to know how to adapt, but you shouldn't be changing your system. That's the key, is that if your strategy is really, really good and it really hits with really promising trades, then the only thing you need to master is the conditions. And that's where I've developed rules for this specific system, because I truly just don't believe other strategies are created equal. I don't think that other systems that we've developed or we trade can even be in the same league as this strategy. Okay. So we're going to talk about it. Okay. Now, I believe in both manual and automated trading, but as a discretionary trader by heart, I don't trade discretionary strategies unless I've automated them and I've been able to backtest them. I don't trade the orb unless I backtest it. I don't trade anything unless I backtest it. I don't trade the HAT system unless I backtest it. Why? Why do you think I do that? You guys tell me. Why do you guys think I do that? Brian says data, edge, data. Yes, proof. Well, actually, it's because of belief. The data gives me the belief that I would actually want to get up in the morning. Because guess what, guys? Everybody gets up with good intentions. You get out of bed, you put your feet on the floor, you say your prayers, you eat your breakfast, you do whatever you got to do in the morning, gets you going. But we all come in here with positive mindset, hopefully, right? Some of us come in here with fear. Some of us come in here plagued by the disbelief because of the past struggle and the days of losing and the losses and the blown accounts. The data for me removes that. The data for me gives me the insights, the confidence, the the ability to, how do I say this? Take the risk, right? The risk to me is everything. Because if I know I'm going to go and build a business around risk, I got to believe that the risk makes sense. And I already know that I struggle probably more than every single one of you, as much as I have tons of experience with emotions. I miss trades. Sometimes it's hard to execute when you're looking at four markets. I definitely don't have a trading plan. Like I have a trading plan, but the problem with me is I had 300 trading plans. Can you imagine me building all these strategies and selling software through all the marketplaces on NinjaTrader and Tickblaze and all this? How many trading plans do you think this guy has? Right? That's been my biggest arch nemesis. That's been my biggest curse as a trader myself. Right. And so, um, with manual trading, we lie to ourselves. Like I know you may not want to admit it, but manual traders will tell themselves things. You will see things that you think are there. Your indicators will lie to you. Your brain will lie to you. Your settings might lie to you. You got to remember, like that's not consistent. And the biggest thing for me is conditions change every single day. I think that deserves its own category, right? Like conditions change every single day. It's the reason why the markets are what they are. It's a free world, right? It's a breathing, it's like a breathing thing. Like imagine millions of traders all coming together and everybody says, "Oh, the institution's this, oh, the institution." No, it's not the institutions. They're just doing their job. Do you not know what they're doing? They're trading on higher time frames. You just don't realize that. Most of us think, "Oh, they're manipulating the market." Oh, they're no, the flush off the open today on the NASDAQ was just they were driving it lower because the hourly was in an uptrend. It's the only reason it pushed lower is because it needed to pull back on a bigger time frame, right? So we can't make excuses for our mistakes. We have to make changes and use the right systems. Okay. So automation, for those of you that like automation, it's going to solve a lot of your problems, right? But it's not going to solve the biggest problem, conditions. I can show you years of backtesting data. I can show you optimizations. I can show you walk forward results that are promising. But you want to know why everybody still has an issue? Because conditions. So conditions affect both discretionary traders and automated systems. So we as computer guys or people and women, people that are in charge of the tools, right? Would you drive a car in the middle of a tornado? Or would you pull over, let the storm pass, and then start driving when you can see again? Hmm. Imagine that. Little bit of insight, little bit of wisdom to know when you're sitting in a tornado, which we always are every day, off the open. The open's a tornado every single day. Nobody knows where it's going. The wind is swimming, and whoa, 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 whoa. Everybody's got a 15 different opinions on what's going to happen. But if you can develop the fortitude of what I'm going to share with you through what I had to do for myself, because if I didn't, how can I trade real capital for my family and put food on the table if I'm not able to actually change those behaviors? Do you understand where I'm going? You need to understand how to read the weather, right, when you're sitting in the storm. And I'm telling you right now that it's a two-step process. Step number one is you need to have a great system. We're going to share that system today. We're going to talk about that system. Step number two is we need to develop the infrastructure mentally and emotionally to know when to turn it on and off. And what was the most important word of the day today, guys? Starts with an A. Starts with an A. How many of you guys are listening? Alignment, Ben. Okay, great. We're going to talk about alignment a lot. Now, I'm not going to go through all the different cool stuff. The software's got a shitload of awesome filters and cool signals and all these different things. I'd rather just show it to you. Take a screenshot. We'll go through all this after, but let's just talk about that. Okay. So this is a momentum trade. Okay. We use volume. We use Heikin Ashi bars because they're smoother. Why do we use Heikin Ashi bars? Because they're minute-driven timeframes, which allow me and my team to backtest lots of data. If we did this on Renko, if we did this on tick, volume, whatever, range, we wouldn't have the data that we do. Now, let me ask you a question, okay? What if I came to you and said, hey, I got 6 months of really, really good back tests of this strategy? You'd say, that's a pretty good back test, right? Most people are looking at a month, 2 months, right? What if I came to you and said 6 months? How many of you guys would say 6 months is a pretty good sample size for day traders? Yes or no? Yes? What if I came back and said I have a year of data for intraday trading? We're not talking on 15. What if I came back and said I have data all the way back from January 6, 2025 to year to date? Year and a half, 2 years. That's why I'm trading this system. I've got years of data that back this system up. I couldn't do that with every other strategy. I couldn't trust it long enough to change the condition environment. Now, that doesn't mean I can just trade it tomorrow and it's just going to print money and it's going to be, yes, it could if conditions align tomorrow and everything feels like a great gravy train. But if you don't have the right rules and the right alignment, what if tomorrow's just another oscillating day? You're going to say, oh, I can't make any money with anything. No, you don't know how to read the conditions. We're going to teach you how to do this. Okay. And it wasn't through having the back testing and the optimizations that I was able to identify the right indicator settings to put the rules in place for the conditions. So everything has its place. The optimizations helped us fine tune the signals, the settings, helped us understand the right volume settings for each market, helped us understand the right RSI settings, the right EMA settings, the right volume tools. Like it all has its place, right? So we're going to look at these. They're really clean setups. And you can trade. What's really cool is that this system works on a 1 minute, 3 minute, 5 minute, 15 minute, 30 minute, 1 hour, 4 hour, daily, weekly. I've put this on everything. And I just followed the exact same rules with my alignment. I looked at it from a swing trading basis. I was blown away, like by the signals on the hourly. I was blown away by the signals on the 15 minute and the 4 hour. Like, and I'm still a day trader, which to me, I started taking the data into AI, and even AI is like, you have something powerful here because it works on every time frame and it works on every market. And I was like, finally, God finally gave me a reward after 10 years of being in the trenches, right? So, but it wasn't just the signal. It's the signal and then how to apply it with the right rotations of the timeframes and alignment, which is my own skill set, which I'll teach you, right? The software is going to do 90% of it, and the other 10% I'm going to hold your hand. I'm going to teach you what to do, when not to do. How many of you guys have watched me trade in live rooms that have discipline, right? I know, Jason, we talked about it. You watched a HAAT webinar I did, right? That discipline didn't come naturally, okay? It came from studying. And so we're going to do that. And you want to know what? I always have more discipline when I'm trading with an audience. When I'm trading with myself, I'm a wreck sometimes, right? But I had to put those things in place. I had to do the things necessary. Okay. So here's a short. Okay. Clean momentum short. The reason these are momentum trades is because of the Heikin Ashi candles and the way that they're basically trading. We'll talk about that in the boot camp, or not the boot camp, but in the classroom and in the AMA. We have rules for the bars, we have rules for the trade, we have rules for the volume, etc. Right? Here's another example of just in a strong trending market. In a strong trending market, the volume signals really produce extremely good conditional trades. So what's really exciting on, like if you notice today and yesterday, there was no major news events. So the market's not going anywhere, right? But if you look at tomorrow, there's a big event tomorrow. I can promise you that there's probably going to have more movement tomorrow than there is yesterday or today, right? But the fact that I stayed profitable today in the worst conditions and still made money yesterday in the worst conditions tells me that in the best conditions, I'm going to have a great days. And sometimes you get trending day, trending day, trending day, trending day, and then you get oscillation, oscillation, oscillation. It's because one time frame is kicking into a consolidation, most likely on the higher time frame, right? And it's us day traders that get smoked because we're not paying attention to the information, right? So here's a great example of just oscillating markets, right? You get a rotating trend going down, you get a rotating trend going up, just the markets are moving. Strong downtrend, and then they rotate it back up. Just depends on the volume signals. These trades are really clean, and we're just going to keep going through these. Like, so it's really, really easy to trade them. What's nice is that we've got years of data to back up the signals, right? Here's an example of running a runner. Take the trade trailing out, and you can see that we got a trailing stop. The dotted lines are trailing down. You can set that up in the automated system if you choose to, right? Here's an example of just base hits all the way up on a trending market, right? And then here's that, and then here's this. Let's keep going. Here's a great example of a 0.5 and leaving on the rest for a runner, right? So first trade, push, gives a surge for the 0.5 target. Then you run a trail stop for the runner. You can set the software up however you choose. Here's another example of a pullback trade, comes in with volume triggers, and then we get a really good runner on the downside. Now, I would never run a runner unless I knew that all four markets were in alignment. I never, ever, ever run multi-exit examples unless all four timeframes are aligned. Write that down. Write that down. Let's write that down. That's a big one. Never trade for large R multiples or trail stops unless all four indices are aligned. Keyword aligned. Everything's got to be aligned. Trade management's everything. You make a whole lot more money going for a 0.7 or a 1-to-1 all day long and not give back 50% of your trade on break even because you didn't have the insight to see that you're trading for the wrong trade management in the wrong conditions. Trade management in the right conditions is your best friend, but nobody understands that because they think that they can manage the trade the same today than they can tomorrow. No, you can't. You can't do that. You can't put yourself into a situation where you try to control the market. You can't control the market. You have to control your understanding of the market. Now, this system is fire, but when you try to run it as a trending day, when today is an oscillating day, today you should have 0.5 and 1-to-1 R multiple trades, period. Yesterday, 0.5, 1-to-1. Friday, 0.5, 1-to-1. Thursday last week, 2R multiple. Run your trades. Just throttle it. How do you know? Alignment. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that when we're trading tomorrow. Now, for all you algo traders in here, okay, I'm so blessed, man, that we have the software that we do. Like, I know it took us years to build it and, the way we run these optimizations, but it's given me the ability to be able to turn a signal into a more profitable system. The algo engine allows our team to test the systems against everything. I tested the 1 minute, the 2 minute, the 3 minute, the 4 minute, the 5 minute. I tested the pullback. I tested the Momo trade. You don't believe me? Just ask Jeff and Berzin like how much testing I've done on this system, right? And then I tested a 1 volume filter, and then a 2 volume filter, and then a 3 volume filter. Then I tested 1 bar back, 2 bar back, 3 bar back. Then I tested risk and reward targets. Then I did ATR stops and tick stops. I tested so much so that I could understand the best way to trade this. And what was really amazing is that I was able to dial in my sweet spot. You can trade this on a 1 minute. You can trade this on a 3 minute, a 5 minute, a 15. I personally traded on the 3 minute. Why? Because over a year and a half of data, I got a little less noise, higher probability trades. But if I'm going to trade it on the 3 minute, it forced me to be a little bit more patient. And I don't like being patient. But guess what? Sometimes you got to do what you don't like doing to get better money coming in the ching ching, right? So that's the point. And so when all you AQS guys in here, you don't have to do anything. My guys did it. We've got you covered. This system is dialed in on 1 and 5 minute charts and 3 and 15-minute charts. We're going to do everything for you. So anybody here wants to run these algos and stuff, don't stress. Anybody that's a discretionary trader, I'm going to share with you the rules tomorrow morning when we trade together. I'm going to give you my sweet stuff, and you don't have to worry about it, right? And you guys don't have to stress. I've got both programs covered, okay? Now, I'm going to film some videos. My guys have filmed some videos. We're just going to play them here. I'm going to press play, and you guys can watch them, okay? So let's take a look here. So So this system can turn on consecutive signals. You can have back-to-back-to-back signals turned on, or you can just have one signal turned on, right? Now, look at that. Back-to-back-to-back trades. That's because consecutive signals is turned on. As long as the market's trending and the volume supports the trade, we can turn consecutive signals on. So you could have 4 trades in one direction, or you can just take the first one and trade it for a bigger target. Depends on the conditions. Okay. That's a great example of a trend on a 1-minute chart on the Russell that gave 1, 2, 3, 4 trades consecutively because volume supported the trend. Those are all based on volume signals. Those are not based off of oscillators. That is based off volume. So this is a volume trading system. Okay. For momentum trades, it's a volume system. We use volume. Okay. Now, I see some pretty big questions in here, Michael. Can you please post that at the end so I can read it at the end, brother? I will answer that. Okay. Now, let's take a look at this. Let's watch what happens here. No problem, Michael. No problem, brother. I want to answer your question. It's a big question. So here's a great example. Volume steps in on the rotation. Price action has to match the filter. If the bars don't give us the pattern, we don't take the volume signal. The Heikin Ashi candles need to be a certain type of bar or else we don't take the trade. So it's a combination of volume, momentum oscillators, and the bar itself. So it's not something you're just going to go and try to do on your own. I can assure you that there's a lot that goes into this signal. Okay. Here's another great example. Let's press play and watch this one. So there's a momentum trade that comes after a rotation. You'd be surprised where momentum sticks in right after an overbought or oversold condition. You'd be surprised how volume in areas of interest matters so much, right? And the size of the candle matters a lot, right? Like if you get this big spike bar, we won't take those trades because there's no profit, right? But this is a great example of just waiting for the rotation. But you'll notice how the entry is on the third bar. The entry was on the third bar, not the first, not the second, but the third bar, right? There's a lot going on in that logic that you may or may not know yet. We will be teaching it to you. So here's a great example of a trend, right? Broke out of that consolidation, trending strong, right? There was a volume trigger for us to take that trade. The bar pattern met the criteria. The oscillator was not in an oversold position. This is a momentum trade. This is not an overbought or oversold position. This is not a pullback trade. There's 2 trades we're going to talk about. There's pullback trades and then there's momentum trades, right? And depending on the conditions, I don't trade momentum trades in non-trending markets. Write that down. That's another one. I got to keep giving you guys goodies here. We only trade we only trade Momo setups in alignment, aka strong trending conditions. We always trade pullbacks everywhere with alignment only. I'm just going to write that word alignment. Time to get a tattoo. Okay, so look at the noise, consolidation. Look at the like 1, 2, 3, 4, 100 bars there going left and right, not going anywhere. And then all of a sudden we get a breakdown on the trend. Volume steps in, bar pattern meets criteria, and off to the races. Boom. Okay. Now, it's really important you understand that Heikin Ashi bars modify the open. So you're not going to go manually and do this on any other platform because we've built special backtesting conditions in that allow us to be able to test the true open of the bars. So you got to remember, if you go and try to just backtest Heikin Ashi bars on TradingView or NinjaTrader or Tickblaze or whatever, and you basically, oh my God, I made $5 million. The backtest is perfect. That's because the open is modified on Heikin Ashi bars. So we've built tick level backtesting on the entry so that when we get the signal, we're actually entering at the right spot in the backtest. This is very important because if not, all your backtests are skewed and you're going to think you've got a great system and then you go to trade it and you're going to lose all your money. Right. So you got to understand that when your bars are modifying the open for any type of trading system, that you need to make sure that you understand that, or else you're going to have lying results. Your results are not going to give you the information that you need. Make sense? So here it is. We're just going to keep going over some performance. Okay. So I think these are Jeff's tests. So this was the June, July, August. So this is 3 months. So this is 3 months. I don't know which market this was. I just know that these are some of the stats that we have. It's 150 trades over the last 3 months. It's pretty good. That's 50 trades a month, right? With a 68.2% win rate, 1.9 profit factor, right? And what is the win-loss ratio on this? I'm not sure here. Win-loss ratio is 1-to-1. So a 70% win rate with a 1-to-1 risk-reward ratio over the last 3 months with 150 trades. That's a huge sample size. Even 150 trades over 3 months, that's great. You don't need to optimize anything, Ed, if you're in the AQS, because you get it for you. If you're not in the AQS, we've got templates. We will give you the templates we're trading on now if you're purchasing it through the marketplace. Yeah. Here's another example. 50 trades. Different market, obviously, but 50 trades. Maybe it was a different time frame. 50 trades, 78% hit rate. So 78% with a 0.8 R multiple. So this is almost a 1-to-1. 78% winning percentage, close to a 1-to-1. That's ridiculous. Profit factor of 2.86. What's really important here is that it's going over months of data. It's a bigger time frame, so you're going to have a little less trades. We'll keep going because we haven't even got to the icing on the cake yet. Here's another example. This 183 trades. Okay. 1 week, 2 week, 3 week, 4 week, 5 week, 6 weeks. Okay. I think you get a couple losing days. I mean, you're not gonna. I'm not here to sell you lies. So you're not gonna have you can have a loss once in a while, right? But what do you guys see about the losses on the last 6 weeks of this? What do you like? This was last week. Friday was a shitty day, so there's a little bit of a loss there, but wasn't a trending day. What's nice about the algo, like when we run optimizations, we have no way to put alignment into this. We have no way to put the filters that I use into this. So this is just every single trade, no turning off, no turning on. This is just let it run like a fully run robot. Now, we won't do that in these programs because I'm going to teach you my secret stuff that I like to do and all that fun jazz. But point of the matter is it ran 180 trades, okay, with a 67.7% win rate, with a 0.92 R multiple, so it's almost a 1-to-1. It's a 1.9 profit factor, right? Large sample sizes, 6 weeks of data, but very few losses. I'll take some of that, please. Exactly. Like, let's take a look at this. So this is where I step in now. So this is years of data. Okay, this is a year and a half of data. So this was my settings. Okay, I'm not looking for perfection. I'm looking for a long time of steady up and to the right, because I don't believe in curve fitting and I don't believe in lying to myself. Do I think I might have a losing week? Sure. Might have a losing day? Sure. Might have a losing month? Not really. No, maybe one, maybe a break even. But my goal is years of data. So what I did was I took 3 months. Then I took 6 months. Okay. I optimized for 6 months, but then I did an out of sample test where I took the same settings that I optimized for the first 6 months and then just applied them for the prior year. And it held up. That's when I knew I was trading the right system, because everybody takes back tests and optimization as the gospel. No, you got to take it and then you got to take your settings and apply it to an out of sample test. An out of sample test means you optimize good conditions for a short period of time, 3-6 months. That's not even a short period of time. It's a pretty long period of time for a day trader. 6 months is a freaking decade for a day trader. However, I took 6 months. I got all my settings and all my bar types and everything that was working great. Boom. And then what happened? I said, okay, I'm going to just take that as exact same settings from this year, and I'm not going to optimize last year. I'm just going to apply them to last year. And bam, crushed it. So this is what gives me the confidence to just study conditions. I don't need to change my system. I don't need to change the strategy ever. This strategy will be the trading system that I trade consistently ongoing. I am not changing the way I trade personally for my own personal accounts. Why am I sharing that with you? because I have never been able to do that ever in the last 7 years of doing what I'm doing for automated systems. I've been trading for 10, but 6 to 7 have been automated system testing. Never have I been able to do that. Never. Okay. So what's important is we take a solid strategy and we just know when to throttle it. Just know when to throttle it. And if I can just teach you 3 rules, one is higher time frame and smaller time frame alignment. Second one's going to be correlation. Third one's going to be just time of day. And I'm going to give you those 3 goodies and how to do it. And I can assure you things are going to change for you. You just got to be willing to try it, got to be willing to learn it. Okay. Now, how many of you guys are excited? Because I've never been this excited because I know what I've got here. I know something that everybody else doesn't. And that's because I just got so many years behind the trenches that this makes me excited. You guys excited? Yes? Okay. Now, for all you discretionary traders, don't stress. What I'm going to do, I'm going to teach you how I trade discretionarily. Okay. For all you automatic traders, don't stress. We've already built everything for you. We have all the templates, we have everything. If you're in the AQS, we will keep building ongoing templates and keep tweaking those templates for you. If you're in the marketplace and you're not in the AQS, don't stress. We're going to do an AMA tomorrow. We're going to go over everything that you need to do. And you'll be able to join me in the discretionary class in the morning. If you're purchasing the software or if you already own the software, everybody will be able to join me in the morning, learn my tricks, learn my secrets, and then you can join Jeff and Berzin in the afternoon for the AMA so that when they teach you how to use the algos, you can take my rules from the discretionary side and turn them on and off. Just all you got to do. No, turn it off. I'm not taking any automated system entries until these are aligned. Boom. Just turn it off and then turn it on and then turn off. You're going to see Berzin doing that. That's how he's going to be running the automated room. It's the only way you're going to make a shitload of money with an algo, having the ability to say no or yes. Okay. So give me a yes that everybody is on the same page. We understand everything I've said, all of the different details I've said. You good with this? Okay. So what we're going to do, we're going to give away a free license, but we're not going to give away a free license just yet. Okay. What we're going to do is in order to win the free license, you gotta answer the poll. So let's talk a little bit about the cost of this. Okay. So are you guys okay with me going over the costs? Right. Like I said, just keeping it straight, keeping it real. We have a big team here. We're a business. We got to pay for those staff. We got to pay for the software to build it and the developers and everything like that. So there's obviously a cost to software, right? But we really try to make it affordable for everybody. I'm going to go over the details. Okay. So a couple things. If you're in the ATS, okay, if you're in the ATS, right, you'll need to buy the software. If you're in the AQS, you don't need to buy the software. However, you get the signal generator if you're in the ATS. Let me repeat this. We have the signal generator for the discretionary traders. We have the algo for the automated traders. If you're in the AQS or the ATS, you get the algo or you get the signal generator, whichever one applies to your program. Okay. If you already purchased the HAAT 1.0 a month ago when I taught you the pullback trades without the volume and all that stuff, you don't need to buy anything. You just get the upgrade, right? That's our promise to everybody. Okay. However, if you're brand new here and you've never bought anything before, or you've never paid for anything, or you're interested in trading this is what it costs, right? Normally our systems are anywhere between 5 to 10 grand for the fully automated systems, all the algo engines and everything that's built into it, plus the templates and the weeks of time that our team put in to make sure that the software is profitable and everything is done in that. It works out to several $1,000s, but we drop it down, right? Down to $1,795, right? So could you make that in a day or two trading? Yes, you could pay for the software in a day or two and then you have the system. What I'm going to share with you tomorrow is worth a hell of a lot more than the software is. Okay. So let me repeat this one more time. The signal generator, okay, the HAAT signal generator is for all of you guys that are either in the marketplace, you'll have to buy it. But if you're in the ATS, you get it for free. It's part of your high ticket program. Okay. If you're an algo trader, but you're not in the AQS, you can buy the algo. And then if you are in the AQS, you get the software. It's part of the program. Okay. And everybody who buys software or who's in the program gets to spend time with me tomorrow morning, and I'm going to teach you everything I've done for over the several weeks trading the system and all my rules and all my sweet stuff so that you guys always stay on the right side of this. Yes. Now, a couple things. Free license. You don't need to you don't need to do there's no giveaways for people that already own the software, guys. If you're in the high ticket programs, sorry, you guys already got it, right? You can't get a license if you already own it. These are for all the people that don't own it. Now, before we do this, okay, I'm going to run a poll. Okay. If you answer the poll, okay, if you answer the poll, um, and you win it, then don't stress. We'll just give you the software, right? But I just need to know if you're planning on purchasing this, either the HAAT signal generator or the algo. I need you to answer the poll. Now you can't qualify for a giveaway unless you answer this poll. So I need to know. Don't answer if you're in the ATS or the AQS. This is only for people that are not in the high ticket programs. Everybody who's purchasing will be trading with me tomorrow morning, right? Everybody that is in the program will be obviously there anyways, but this is for everybody that's not in the ATS or the AQS. I need to know because we have to send you specific emails. We're going to give you a bunch of stuff that's different than the other programs. But if you want a free license, everybody has to put their name in here. And I need to know if you're not, I get it. Not everyone needs to buy everything today, right? Maybe money's not right for you right now, lifestyle, something, but just don't give up on yourself. Stick around, come to another webinar with us. We'll keep teaching you. And then maybe over time, you'll find that we are the right place for you. Okay. For those of you that are yes, and you're interested in trading with me tomorrow morning, and you're either going to buy the algo or the signal generator. I just had an idea, Jim. I don't know if that idea is good or not, Pete.
Uh-oh.
I'm a big believer of giving, right?
Uh-huh.
And maybe what we can do is for anyone that's not in the ATS or the AQS, um, because there's the signal generator or there's the algo, right? So maybe we can do something special for them depending on if they want both.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. If you want
You know what
both,
I mean?
that's fine. Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you want both, and that way, if you want to run the signal generator or the algo, we'll
Hmm.
work something out for you that you don't have to worry about buying everything full price and all that stuff. That way you can trade both discretionary or automated, whatever works for you. We'll take care of you. Just put a yes in the chat in the poll so we know. And for all of you that are asking for a call me, there's a lot of call me's in here, Jason, today. So um, don't worry, Jason will take care of you. He's the best at what he does.
Sean, let me know when you're ready for the license giveaway link.
Yeah, we're just letting everybody finishing the poll here. Everybody's got to answer the poll. So yes, Kenneth, if you purchase the signal generator from the last time and you want the algo, 100% will give you a bigger discount. Just contact Jim or Pete. Yes, 100%. But you already get the signal generator as a free upgrade. You don't have to buy the signal generator again. Pete, if you're in the eight, are you in both of the syndicates, Pete? Yeah, you get both. You don't have to pay for anything. Yeah. That's the benefit of being in the syndicates. Okay. Can everybody do me a favor? Just give me one last push on this poll here, guys. We just want to make sure everybody's answered the poll because we can't do the giveaways until everybody answers the poll. Okay. And don't answer if you're in the AQS or the ATS because you already get it. Appreciate everybody taking the time to fill that poll out. It's important. It should be in the download section today, Michael. Yeah, I think it's already in there, Michael. Yeah, you should get it. Yeah. You will need to update the new build. You will need to update the new build because we just put out a new build and you'll need to install the new marketplace zip. So two things that need to be done. You need to update the new version of Tickblaze. When it says do an update, you say yes. And then you'll also need to install the new marketplace zip, the all-in-one zip that's inside the members area. Absolutely. 100%. Yeah. Okie dokie. Perfect. Okay. So I think we're good here. If you want to just put the poll link in the chat box. Oh, sorry, guys. 1 second here. You don't want to be on my calendar. You'll be tired as hell. So just fill out Pete. Not sure what's happening there, but Pete's in both the ATS and the AQS, but he's installed both, but it's not available. So can you check with the team on where the downloads are and where everybody's at with this? It should be done now already.
Yep, I'll take a look.
Pete, don't worry. We'll have you straight and ready by today. Everybody should have everything taken away today. If you have any questions, just send an email in, but we'll get everybody squared away today. Please fill out the survey link that's inside of the Zoom chat. If you're qualifying for if you qualify for the giveaway. Okay. Now, while we're doing this, tomorrow, a couple things. For the algo traders, you got a VIP AMA event. However, tomorrow morning, take a look at this. Let's just grab this for a second. Tomorrow morning, okay, at my time, which is 6:30 a.m. my time, 9:30 Eastern, okay, at 9:30 Eastern, okay, right here, I'm going to be doing a class for everybody that buys the software, okay? So all of that is important, okay? All of that is important because ultimately, if you don't purchase, you won't be able to trade with me, right? It's just won't be able to trade with me. Make sense? I'm going to talk about this today, okay, right here. This was the NASDAQ today, okay? And the NASDAQ on the higher time frame pushed down, okay? And so I didn't trade the momentum trades off the break. And I'll explain why tomorrow. It won't make sense to you today. There's just too much going on with the charts today for me to explain it in 5 minutes. But the NASDAQ was the best market to trade short today. Not yesterday, but today, right? So these two trades, I just want to share this with you guys because I think it's important and we talk about this, okay? Today on the system, there was these trades. My rules will not let you trade those trades, okay? So let me just explain this to you guys. You won't be able to. Okay. Give me a second here. Sometimes when I do the pen, it doesn't let me draw, so I'm going to move my stuff. But let me take a look at this. So these trades were off the opening range break. But my rules will tell you not to take those trades. And could you have made money on them? Sure. Would it have been aggressive? Yes. Was it a stupid trade? Yes. Going short off the opening drive today was a stupid decision. Why? Because the higher time frame told us you shouldn't be, right? The opening drive here was against the big picture flush. So what I was waiting for, okay, was the pullback into this signal, and then it gave a slightly little bit consolidation. They came up to run some stops. Our stops won't be there. Obviously, I'll explain that tomorrow. And then it came down one more time for this was the second pullback trade, and this was the momentum trade. But the reason I like the NASDAQ today over the other markets was because, okay, was because of the conditions. It was the only market that met my rules for alignment. It was the only market that met my rules for correlation. Okay. And so throttling that trade, I took the short here. Now don't pay attention to these trades here because those were opening range trades, not to do with the system. But this trade today was. That's why I took the short here. Why did I execute here, enter here? Well, because I had to do the webinar. Right? Like I got to teach the webinar here, right? Like, right? What you may not know is that right before the webinar, let me show you this. I took this trade. You say, why did I take that trade? Why did I take that momentum trade? Right? You see this? Look at the arrows here. See this? See the signals here? Why did I take that? Okay. Because it made sense on the higher time frame. I had alignment on the higher time frame. Everything met my rules, and Russell was the strongest market. So guess what? My two best trades today, the best trades that made me the most money, were the ones that followed everything that I was supposed to do on all of my rules of what I'm going to teach you tomorrow. Okay. So don't you worry. You're going to learn everything that you need to learn about what we're doing. Okay. But all that matters is that you understand that there is a rhyme to this and a reason. Now, do we have a winner for this?
Yep, we do. Dale Vogel.
Dale, where's my Dale at? Dale, you here? You got to be here to win it. No, if getting the upgrade, if you already purchased, Jim, you're in it to win it. Dale, you won, brother. Congrats, man. God bless you, brother. You got Lady Luck on your side. Okay, everybody give a high five for Dale. People like to win. Got to reward people that win. It's not about being jealous or envious. Always congratulate people that win, right? Super exciting to see you win, man. So, couple things, guys. I'm going to share a few things with you. Okay. I'm all about belief. And I'm not big on big sales pitches of like, if I'm going to trade something with live capital, not prop accounts, real capital. Okay. I need to believe in it. Okay. I'm going to teach you everything you need to know on how to believe in what we're doing. Type a yes in the chat box. You're going to be with me tomorrow morning. I need to know how many of you guys are going to be with me tomorrow morning. If you already own the software, if you're already in the programs, or if you're buying the software today, I need to know because I'm going to put together some stuff for you guys that is only for you guys, right? Great. Appreciate it. Great. Appreciate you guys. Okay. Now, what I want to do is I want to answer some questions. Okay. I want to answer some questions. Now, there may be a few of you out there that are exhausted of buying. Maybe you felt you bought stuff in the past and it didn't go the way you wanted it. Okay. Maybe you've been to a presentation and you've heard me say that this is my favorite strategy or anything like that. A lot of them are my favorite strategies for certain conditions, but this is the strategy that I trade myself. Okay. So the whole point of today's webinar was to share my story, not just the story of all the systems that we build as a company. Okay. So the reason I approached today in a different light was to share a journey that I can relate with you as a trader, right? As a company, right? Our mandate is to sell software. We are a Walmart for marketplace. You go to you go to Walmart, maybe you buy a shirt, you get a hole in it. Do you stop buying clothes because your shirt got a hole in it? No. Maybe you go to the grocery store and cheese was $5 today and tomorrow was $3. Do you stop buying food because the cheese changed the discount? No. We are a company that sells software at mass production, right? Thousands of traders globally. That doesn't mean I can trade everything that we sell myself. That also doesn't mean that everybody's going to see the same success as everybody else. I'm not here to give you the bullshit. I'm just here to give it to you straight. If you think that we're here to just give you a sales pitch, then you've got some thinking to do and listen to your heart, right? Because for me personally, trading is the most difficult business in the world. If you want to blame us, I'm cool with that. But I already know the truth, right? I already know the software that we sell works. We trade it. We've got systems traders. We've got educators that trade it. If you still don't like that, then maybe we're not right for you, right? And I'm cool with that, right? For Paul in here, or anyone else that wants to say what they have to say, I don't blame you. I understand you. I'm a trader. I get it. But if you need help and you're struggling, and maybe it's just you're feeling a little bit of buyer's remorse because something didn't work for you in the past, don't let success stop you because of your past situations. We can help you if you're willing to. Book a call with my guys. We can throw you in some discounts, some deals, maybe do a swap for something, whatever needs to happen. But don't sit there and blame us because something didn't work for you, right? Because I'm right here to tell you right now that 99% of traders will never, ever make money. 99, not 92, not 80, 99.99. Almost every single trader in the world will lose everything 10 times over before they ever make money. Does this make sense? Right? So I'm sharing that with you guys. How many of you guys agree with that statement? Right? Right? Yeah. And I'm here to tell you right that me too. I've bought thousands of things from people that I thought were going to be great. Just wasn't my thing. It didn't work for me. It wasn't what I was looking for. Do I blame them? Do I get upset about it? No. I just chalk it up as part of my journey of becoming the best I can be. right? And I'm not ashamed to say that on the mic. I'm not ashamed to say that to my community and my people. Why? Because I've put in 10 years helping 10,000 traders. I don't know anyone in this industry that works harder than me, period. Like literally Saturdays, Sundays till midnight backtesting systems so we can help our traders, right? I don't know of anybody else that spends their weekends helping us. Give me a why that makes sense to you. Give me a why that you can relate with what I'm saying, right? How many of you guys have ever felt like that? Felt like Paul and a few others. I'm not calling Paul out. Paul deserves to speak his truth, right? I spoke my truth when I spent $40,000 on a shit course when I was 25 coming out of college. Best thing that ever happened to me. Made sure that I never ever did what they did to me, to my customers, right? I'm just real, guys. Like me or hate me, it's your choice, right? But if you want to learn from me and you want to trade with me, come trade with me, right? If you don't want to buy the software, don't buy the software. If you want to buy the software, buy the software, right? But one thing you're going to get with us is straight goods, right? And if you do feel like you need a call with our team to go over any of the past stuff, then call Jason. He's going to help you out. Jason's the rock star, man. He's going to get real with you. He's going to talk with you. Jim and Pete will make it happen, right? Right. And I'm going to here to tell you. So let me just call it as it is. For everybody in here that's buying software systems and education from us and everybody out there, I need to just be honest with you. Okay. You're going to spend about 90% of your money blowing that money, not just with us, with everybody. And then eventually, one day, you're going to learn something from me or from somebody else that's going to change your destiny. And everything else isn't going to matter anymore. But you can't go through life worrying about losing a few bucks, buying something to see if this is the way you should be doing something, which is why we make our software the most affordable. I can give you a list of 7 other algo providers that start at $10,000 to $15,000 to $20,000 a system. We sell them for $1,500. Come on, we give it away for what it costs us to make it. You can go to the other vendors, go spend 25 grand, come back and thank us. That's just the way it is, right? Now, here's the thing. Come to the class tomorrow, okay? Why? Because I'm going to give you all of my goodies, my personal trading stuff, right? Will that help you? Yes, it will help you. It will absolutely help you. Anybody in here that's been struggling, anybody here that spent money, felt like they didn't get the results they wanted, get the tools, join me tomorrow. I promise you, I will deliver on everything that you need to learn. You will learn my rules. You will learn my filters. You will learn my alignment strategy. You will learn my correlation methods. You will learn when I take my trades and when I don't. You will also get my desktop, which took me hours to build because I set it up for myself. I will give you my personal stuff. I will give you the 1 minute and the 5 minute scalping rotation. I will give you the 3 minute and the 15-minute day trading rotation. Okay. And then if everybody comes tomorrow, we will trade together tomorrow. We will get trades tomorrow. I can promise you this. And let's take a look at news. Take a look at the news here for a second. Let's go to forexfactory.com. We've got big announcements tomorrow. I'm excited for that. Why? CPI data. You know what that means? Either the markets are going to be a third day of shit, which my rules are going to keep me profitable, or it's going to be a strong trending day and we're going to throttle big targets. And I'm betting on the trending day because the last 3 or 4 days have been consolidation. And I think it's just going to pop. And eventually it's got to pop because if it ain't popping, then they're building something. They're cooking something big, right? So, guys, listen, I want to thank you for being here. Like I said, I don't like to do these presentations like a sales pitch. I'm a trader just like you. I'm a systems architect. I care about results. I care about you guys. And hopefully that comes off as authentic because it's just me being myself, right? So give me a yes, you enjoyed the presentation. Give me a yes that you found this informative, you learned something, and you're excited for tomorrow. I can't wait to see you guys there. I also got some stuff cooking with regards to future education stuff that's going to be done. I'm working on putting out a personal brand website and doing some live streams for everybody. So for those of you that want to trade with me ongoing, just stay on the lookout. Things are cooking behind the scenes. Got some exciting stuff coming. All right, guys. For those of you that requested callbacks, Jason's going to be hitting the pavement here right after the event. And you can't locate the webinar calendar. Pete, do we have the webinar links for everybody? It'll be sent out for purchasers, correct?
Yeah, there will be. Yep.
Anybody who purchases software will get the email with the webinar invite. Yep. All right, guys, take care, traders. God bless. Have a fantastic evening, and we'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning. Be ready to write down notes. I've got a lot of goodies that we're going to be giving you guys. Okay, take care, and we'll see you on the flip side. Have a good one, traders.